Well, the tide is finally turning, and Kamala's speech is slurring. Thank God we're saying bye to Joe. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke. And the mainstream media's dying, their viewers shaving their heads and crying. What is a woman? Well, they still don't know. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke. They tried to stop us by taking his life, but they missed, so it's fight, fight, fight. The left really thought they'd beat the right, and they fought, but they lost, thank the Lord. Now January is coming. Half of Hollywood's already running. They're finding new countries to call home. Screw the woke, screw the woke, screw the woke. Well, the tide...
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I'm your host, Joe Neerman, aka Good Lawgic. That's right, I'm on time tonight. That's how you know I've been eliminated from fantasy football. That's how you know. That's how you know. That's how you know that my fantasy football season did not go quite as long as I wanted it to. I hope your day has been going well. Better than it has for anyone who's associated with the House of Representatives today. Because frankly, that was an utter embarrassment that we're going to detail later on as we go through the Matt Gaetz report that was released by the House Ethics Committee, which is, in my opinion, certainly a bigger embarrassment to the House Ethics Committee, and specifically Leaky Susan Wild, as well as disparageable, despicable Michael Gaetz, Republican from Mississippi, I believe is what state he calls home. We're going to go through the Gaetz report. It's going to take a little time, so I'm going to set aside some time for that because I need to dissect this thing, rip this sucker apart, so you can understand just how asinine this thing is, because it is asinine. So we're definitely going to go through that. Before I get into all that good stuff, though, before I get into that, there's a couple of other stories that I wanted to cover real quick here, which I also said I was gonna cover for you here. First one out of the gate, I don't even know what to make out of this. So, why am I getting pop? I didn't want to pop up. That's not the pop up I want. Dagnabbit. San Antonio Express. Stop doing that. Joe Biden. Oh, really? Oh, that's not happening. That's not happening. We're already off to a great start. Story I wanted to share isn't really sharing the way I wanted to. Well, San Antonio Express News is reporting that Joe Biden has decided to commute federal death sentence for 7 convicted in Texas, including, according to Senator Ted Cruz, including Nazis. What are you doing? Now, Ted has this wrong. It's not that he pardoned Nazis. From what I understand, he showed clemency in the sense of taking away his death penalty, but it still remains, at least according to the proposed community notes, that Ricky Allen Fackrell, holy Fackrell, Batman, Ricky Allen Fackrell and Christopher Emery Kramer, whom DOJ described as members of white supremacist gang Soldiers of the Aryan Culture, were convicted of killing another inmate in 2014. And they commuted and Joe Biden decides, no, we don't need to put these people to death. The only folks we need to put to death are those who are still in a womb. Only the unborn are we willing to kill. Not at all like, white supremacists. Frankly, when Trump was running in 2020, I remember over and over again, they kept asking him, will you finally condemn white supremacy? Yes, I condemn it. Yes, I can. Next day, will you please, for the love of God, can you just put this to rest and finally, for the first time in your life, condemn white supremacy? I condemn it. Your support next day, you're supported by all these white supremacists. Do you think perhaps it might be a wise move for you at least condemn white supremacy? It's like every day they would ask the question, not to elicit his answer. frankly, you had Christopher Wallace there, who's pretending he never heard him say that before. It's like the first time when 3 years early, 2016, he asked him to condemn it, and he condemned it. And 4 years later, Jake Tapper, they all heard him say over and over again, I condemn, I condemn, I condemn, I condemn. And they just made him say it over and over again, not because they were trying to like get to the truth, which is what, investigative journalistic reporters are supposed to be doing. No, it's specifically for the purpose of asking the question to imply he's never done it before. So it was really designed to have false reporting. It was designed to trick the narrative, to make you all think that this guy, has some sort of affinity for white supremacy, when he never had displayed anything of the kind. Quite the contrary, routinely disparaging it. However, no one ever asked Biden that question. They never asked Biden, are you willing to condemn white supremacy? I never heard it. Have you ever, ask yourself this question, have you ever heard him condemn white supremacy? Because frankly, I never heard Joe Biden condemn. Have you? I don't think as far as I know, he's never condemned it. He'll condemn MAGA. Yeah, that he'll can do. That'll be very, pardon me. Don't want to misquote him. He'll condemn ultra MAGA. Ultra MAGA, whatever the heck that is. That he finds very condemnable. But white supremacy, I don't know. Have you seen it? Because I haven't seen it. I don't know where it is. But anyway, and quite the contrary, instead of condemning it, apparently, Ricky Allen Thackrell and Christopher Emery Kramer, two soldiers of the Aryan culture, which that sounds pretty white supremacy. That white supremacist-y. Yeah. He's the one. He's like, no. We're not going to let Texas put these folks to death. We need these people around. We need to hear more from them. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, if you have thoughts about whether or not there should be like a special, like, hey, no clemency on like folks who happily join up to the soldiers of the Aryan culture, drop your thoughts below. I'd be curious to hear from you. But this is who the Democrat Party is. It's true. They've always been the party of white supremacy, and they remain the party of white supremacy. So not a big surprise there. I planned on sharing the whole story with you, and I didn't realize that the San Antonio Express News was going to make me like all of a sudden sign up for this one article that I don't really care that much about reading. So we're not going to go down that road. All right. What you all really want to see me get to is obviously the drones. You want to see me get to the drone. You want to hear what's new with the drones, because I'm an eye in the sky. Well, not eye in the sky because I'm not like in drone height, but I'm feet on the ground reporting to you here, because in case you're unaware of this, I am presently situated right here in the great state of New Jersey, where these drones are all over they're everywhere here. There are drones everywhere. I'm not going to kid you. I haven't seen any of them. Not a one. But apparently a lot of folks have. Not me. I don't really leave the house. I leave the house as infrequently as possible. Everyone suspected that it's because I have some aversion to sunlight or something. No, it's really the drones. It's really, they're going to get the whole bald spot. I don't need that. No one needs that. I did find my glasses. Yeah, I found them at the end of the show yesterday. I found them at the end before the show wrapped up yesterday. I know we spent a lot of time talking about it. Where were the glasses? The glasses were found by Lady Lawgic. Believe it or not, Lady Lawgic found the glasses as she is shouting from the sidelines here. We, as in Lady Lawgic, found the glasses. The Lawgic team, with a bunch of crack specialists, located the glasses which had fallen between my bed and the headboard. So there you go, which was a wise place for Lady Lawgic to check. And she did. Yeah, where did Lady Lawgic find it? Precisely. The drones did not have my glasses. No. No, they were not held by the. You want to know who's doing really well in fantasy football? Yeah, you see this guy right here. You see how excited he is? He's all excited. You can see he's like, let's all have a grand all time talking about Joe and his glasses as I just dropped 170 points on my opponent. he's likely the favorite right now to win the Super Bowl next week. It's not official yet, but his opponent is like 60 points behind him coming into tonight, and I'm pretty sure that at this point it's as close to official without being official as it can be. So I guess congratulations are in order in making the Super Bowl. Anyhow, yeah, he's very chipper. Joe is very, very chipper. Very, very chipper. All right. And Jenna, gifting 5 good Lawgic memberships. Who'd you bring on into us tonight? Let me see who gifting. Let me see who you got for me. Who did Jenna bring on in? Jenna brought in. Why don't I see it? It's not here. No, I gotta go lower. Going higher. I do need emojis. Oh, look at this. I am Joseph 6 was gifted a membership. That's what he needs. Really? Moderator, Super Bowl contender. I am Joseph. Gifted a membership courtesy of Jenna. Welcome to the following, Joey. Welcome. We have cookies. We also got Bifrons in here. Riley, Leafson, the Salty Stoner, Ohio, and Robin Watkins, all of them gifted membership into the following courtesy of Jenna. I would be most obliged if you could express your gratitude, Jenna, for granting you really what we can consider the gift of life. Because what is life if it's not about greater personal growth? And frankly, the following is proven to be the best known secret to personal growth, short of Torah. But over here, for those of you who are not going to go down that route, the following program is probably the best bet for you. So welcome to the following, which is not at all a cult. So, and God bless you, Jenna. Thank you. All right, let's get into this thread here because Ryan, the smart guy heard, has thoughts about the drones. Who is Ryan, the smart guy heard? Who is this fine fella? Turns out he's a mayor here in the great state of New Jersey. He doesn't want to tell us where he's mayor of. Where are you mayor of? Ryan Hurd, Pequannock. All right. Township Mayor Ryan Hurd, Pequannock. All right. So that's him over here, the one in the center, him being interviewed. That's Ryan Hurd right there. And he has thoughts about the drones that he wants to share with you. And we're going to check it out. All right. Thread, the drone mystery they don't want you to solve. Buckle up. This is going to be long. It's really not that long. He makes sound as if this is going to be like a 40 post. No, it's 6 posts, but they're well informed and they provide some perspective that you do not yet have if you have not checked out this thread yet, which frankly, only has 4,200 likes. Probably a good percentage of you never saw this thread yet. The drone mystery they don't want you to solve. Buckle up. There's going to be long, share widely because social media platforms other than X will take this down. They might ban me too. All right. Now that I'm sharing it with you guys, I can't share it widely. So I didn't want to. Yeah, okay. We'll save this for later. Wednesday, December 11th, Governor Phil Murphy, one of the worst governors in the history of this fair land, called a mandatory in-person meeting for New Jersey mayors in Ewing. Reps from New Jersey State Police and New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness were present. The topic, unidentified drones. So that was 12 days ago. They're called in for a mandatory in-person meeting by Governor Murphy. The topic, unidentified drones. They admitted they don't know who's flying them, where they're launched from, and where they land, which is astonishing. Wait, what? It's America in 2024. And they're this clueless. Apparently, yes, they are. Here's his little pictures that you got going on here. Showing us, yes, he was there. He did attend. He did what he was supposed to do. That's him right there. He was there. Mandatory. Governor Murphy. If you wonder why I hate Governor Murphy, reason number one is because this guy signed a death warrant for thousands of elderly by mandating during the period of time that shall not be named that the elderly must be housed with other elderly irrespective of whether or not they've been early released from hospitals and whether or not they're at risk of being infected with various things that only doctors know anything about and I don't know anything about. And as a result therewith, countless thousands of people are dead. Thank you, Governor Murphy. That's the first reason I hate him. The second reason is all the mandates and lockdowns that we got from him during a period that shall not be named. And reason number three, and frankly, probably a little bit too close for me to actually admit publicly, but kind of in my heart, I have to admit, this guy banned plastic bags. It's very annoying. It's very, very annoying. And now you can't even get like the bought bags. They don't even have that anymore. So, and the whole bag plan that he came up with, which was purportedly to save the climate, the replacement bags supposedly are worse for the environment than the plastic bags we had that he banned. But that's Governor Murphy, classic Democrat, terrible concerns, stupid concerns, and terrible responses to those concerns. Self-destructive responses to made-up concerns. That's your Democratic platform right there. So when they told him that they don't know who's flying the drones, they don't know where they launch from or where they land, I lost it. I stood up and asked, can you please confirm that this isn't a U.S. military operation? State Police Colonel Callahan, it's not. Can you confirm it's not a big tech company? Google, Amazon, SpaceX. It's not. So who is it? No answers. That's when I went straight to the media. This is him going to the media, I guess.
Is not inside. Where are you, Bill Murphy? This is ridiculous.
I can't hear him either.
Not inside. Where are you, Bill Murphy? This is ridiculous.
He's a failure. That's where he is. He is a failure. Quick backstory. I've spent 30 years in tech, smart home, lot, AI, ML, you name it. I know the players and the skunkworks projects they're hiding. On the way home, I started calling everyone in drone tech and surveillance. Guess what? Nobody knew anything. Nobody who's in the private sector knows anything about these drones, which is meant to tell you this is not a private sector that's trying out new drones or looking to get some promotional type of thing, or let's get some free coverage by flying these drones around. And that's going to get everyone buzzing about drones. And that, no, he says that's not the deal. So I assembled a team. Craig, combat veteran, retired Major Drone Whiz. Dr. Green, combat veteran, retired GS-15 tech expert, and the folks at Blue Halo, cutting-edge counter drone tech. We brainstormed for hours. Only 3 possibilities made sense. 1, 2, 3. I don't know why you would write this. Why would you do this? Why would you put question marks here? The most obvious thing that would make sense would, if I had to speculate, and I'd love to hear your speculation about this, whether you're watching live now and want to drop a comment, or whether you're watching after the show. I would love your speculation. My speculation on the 3 is military project. There's only 3 possibilities, right? Military project, private sector, foreign entity. Right? I mean, is there a third one? Am I guessing the wrong one, or is he already ruling out private sector? But military, government, it's got to be one of those 3, right? Government, military, U.S. government, private sector, or worst case scenario is foreign entity, right? Foreign country. Technically, the 3 possibilities are, I think he means to say, irrelevant at this point, because no matter what, we have to have clear proof, make, model of drones, and that will answer many questions in what country is using them. The fundamental questions are the drones flown by good people or bad people. From there, we go down the conspiracy hole. But to confirm anything, we need evidence, make, model, origin, and Blue Halo's Locust TATS system could do it. What is the Locust TATS system? I don't know. Apparently, this is supposed to be part of the locust hat system. It looks like a giant air conditioner to me, but I don't know anything about this. I'm sure it's not that. I'm sure it's not some ventilation system. I don't know. Maybe this is like camera type stuff here. This definitely looks like camera type stuff. I don't know. I don't know why he's incorporating these pictures here. I don't know what we're supposed to get from this. I'm sharing with you what he gave us. But this is the interesting part we're getting to here. Friday, December 13, I pitched the plan to Governor Murphy. The deal? Blue Halo provides tech and operators for free to detect, ID, and, if approved, acquire their drones. Murphy connected us with Colonel Callahan, who then set up a Zoom with the FBI. So this is what they asked for with the FBI. The initial meeting request is for 30 minutes. They're willing to meet with you and the New Jersey something police to consult for free in outlining the narrative in reducing reporting and providing information to educate the public to be released by the NJSP and media outlets. They anticipate an increase in false reporting initially and then a cliff fall in reporting, which will allow accurate reports in UAS sightings. They understand technological aspects, tactics, techniques, and procedures and legalities behind what's going on. They can assist beyond reporting to detect, identify, and defeat as needed. I can share the info if you want validity added to this. They can meet with you. Guys, this is what Murphy responds with. Guys, please follow up ASAP. I'm on with the feds, but get Pat in loop. Many thanks, PM. Which is probably, I'm not sure if PM is designed to stand for Phil Murphy or Prime Minister, because you can't really tell with him. Will do, Gov. That's a Rob Field. Field? How do you pronounce the name F-E-I-L-D? Because usually E before I is for an A sound, which means to me that this guy's name is Rob Failed. And I have a hard time believing that his name is Rob Failed, spelled this way. But it could be. I don't know who Rob Failed is, or Field. I don't think he's misspelling his last name, which, Field would be F-I-E-L-D. If you have speculation about whether Rob's last name is Failed or I don't know. Anyway, getting back to our hero Ryan here. He said, I can fix this problem and I can identify the drones. I have a company that has developed this CUAS for the DoD since 2016 and wants to provide a Group 3 detect and identify capability to better enhance your current operations. It's 1 week of support for free to include the system. To include system operators. They're willing to do this to answer the questions you have and are looking for. They can be here by next week deploying from DC. So Rob Feld says, I'll reach out to you on this, Mayor. Okay. And Murphy says, Ryan, on it. Rob, get this to Colonel. Thanks, P. I don't like people who even if I didn't know who Phil Murphy is, I don't like people who abbreviate their stuff this way. I'm too busy to write out the full word thanks, and I don't know why you're signing your own stupid name. Why are you signing your name? Do you realize people can see that it says Governor Phil Murphy here? Unless he's actually, I don't know what the deal is. I can't even begin to speculate. I don't know. All right. So that's the offer. He said, we will give you the ability to identify what this drone situation is all about at no cost to the government whatsoever. Let you control the whole narrative. At least this way we know what's happening. What do you think the response was? What do you think the response? I'll wait. What do you think the response was when they make this very magnanimous offer? We have the equipment. We've got the personnel. We'll get to the bottom of this, find out exactly what it is. Won't cost the government a penny. We'll find out for you. What do you think? What do you think the U.S. government said? a second. Whoa. Whoa. Oh my God. This has never happened before. I have a first in Good Logic history. I have a first. This is a first. This has never happened before. Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. For once, I'm left completely speechless, which is not really a good thing for a podcast. I'm not going to kid you. Podcasters being left speechless is kind of a bad thing for reasons that are fairly obvious. But I've never had this happen before, so I got to call attention to it. Don't worry, I'm not forgetting about the drones. Or that question I asked you is, how do you think the government responded to that magnanimous offer? No, but we need to pause for a second. I'm going to share with you here. Great Liquor gifted 5 subscriptions to Good Logic in Rumble. What do I even call these denizens of the ghetto? But oh my God, Great Liquor! I'm gonna give you one of these. Sound a war horn for you. 5 subscriptions to Good Logic. I don't know what's happening here. I don't even know, but you're not really members of the well, I guess I could call you followers. Could I? Your ghetto followers? Ghetto followers? I don't know what that means. But anyway, congratulations to Eyes of a Lady, Mud Puppy 3000, Janak 909, my favorite over here, obviously, Dom Mannon, and Serene Pickle. Well, welcome to subscriber status. Welcome to the following, I guess. The ghetto following. God bless you. Thank you so much. Great Liquor. God bless you indeed. Well, don't worry. I saw the gifts up there also. I know that I see over in the in YouTube what's happening. I give a lot of priority to YouTube, but that one had to be called out. All right. I like this. Gettysons. That's not bad. Gettysons. Yeah, indeed. Cheers to that. All right. So what do you think they said? I gave you enough time to sort of sit on that. What do you think they said? Oh, this is what they said. On the FBI call, there's me, Craig, Dr. Green Callahan, and an FBI special agent. We laid out the problem and the solution. The FBI said they were bringing in their own assets to detect drones. We don't want your freaking assets. We got our own assets. Problem, their tech only detects small class 1-2 drones, and we're talking about class 3-4, totally different. So they basically said, we'll do our detecting of something that's not meant to actually find the solution here. Wow. Unbelievable. Saturday, December 14th, I attended Representative Chris Smith's press conference in Seaside Heights. I briefed him, local mayors in the Ocean and Monmouth County sheriffs. They loved the plan. We also discussed involving the Coast Guard to assist with detection using Blue Halo's tech. At some point, we'll need a government partner because we have to emit RF, so we need FAA and FCC cooperation. Here they are talking about the plan. All smiles. Everyone's all happy. Ryan's going to go jump in the ocean and do a couple of laps because he's very excited there. You can see with his hat and everything. He's got his little swim cap on. He's very excited, Ryan. Monday, December 16th, we got red lighted. I don't really hear the term. You don't hear the term red lighted very often. You don't really hear that term red lighted. I'm assuming this is the opposite of when something gets green lighted. That's my take. If you have a different take, you're welcome to that. The FBI had no interest in the solution, despite it being military-grade tech offered for free with operators included. Conveniently, Congress is now in recess. Now, Congress now being in recess, they were not in recess when we sat down on Monday, December 16th. They were in session last week. I mean, they're in recess now. But yeah, he sent letters to Congressman Chris Smith, and and all this good stuff here as far as his experience and why he was well equipped to help us out with this situation. And the government said to him, go jump in a lake or an ocean. Here's what you need to understand. One, the federal government doesn't want a solution. Two, they're creating the illusion of a solution. And three, this is classic plausible deniability. You're being fed a cover story. Planes, legal drones, stars, the moon, don't buy it. Why are they so quick to shut down real answers? Why are top-of-the-line tools being rejected? Why is Congress on break just as things heat up? This isn't just incompetence, it's a cover-up, and you are the pawn. I'll leave you with this. If the government won't protect you, who will? At one point, someone asked me why they're doing this. That's a great question. Here's my thoughts. One, deep government program is running this, but the question is why. Two, the state government and the federal government now has an egg on their face as they're incompetent. Or three, the government has painted itself into a corner, now has no way out other than convince you nothing is happening. Share the thread, wake people up. The truth is out there, but they don't want us to find out. Keep watching the skies. So there you go. Federal government has absolutely no intention of ever telling us what these drones are about. That's fairly obvious. Now, perhaps under Trump and Kash Patel, maybe we'll get to the bottom of this. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But I definitely think that as of January 19th, 2025, we will still have no answer on the whole drone situation. And who knows? Who knows if and when thereafter we may get answers. But as of right now, the U.S. government totally mums the word. 100% silence in the ranks. Nobody talk about this. I see nothing. I hear nothing. I know nothing. How's the grandbaby? Oh, he's adorable. Thank you. And I want you to know something. You probably think to yourself, well, that's a grandfather. Of course he's going to say he's adorable. This is not true. One of my grandsons, when he was a newborn, I was like, And everyone around me was saying so cute. And I was like, not so much. My first Lady Lawgic is reminding me about my firstborn daughter. True story. She came out. And Lady Lawgic said, is she cute? And I said, we're going to have to marry this one off. That's what I said. Not all babies are cute when they come out. Now, I had never seen a baby who was that fresh out of the womb. That's what I said. I'd never seen a baby who was that fresh out of the womb, so I wasn't aware of the whole compression of the face that happens during, when they come the first 30 seconds of life. So, and thank God, Kanana Harris, she grew up to be a beautiful young woman, really beautiful young woman, inside and out. So, and same too with my grandson, one of my grandsons, which now, God bless, I got 5. One of them, I was like, no, this one's not cute. But now he is. He's older now. Now he's really cute. So, but this one came out pretty adorable. Please have some wonderful holidays. Never stop this great content. Proud to be one of your first members. I know. Up in Connecticut has been here seriously since the halcyon days where I was up in my attic. Before NYPD Cap became part of my branding. It's true. Up in Connecticut, it's been here in the early days along with this fine man here. Squeeze Gar. Joe, did you see the part in Santa Cruz Pier fell off into the sea? We can only pray the rest of the California coast follows behind. I didn't see that, no. But I can understand your sentiments. I don't want to see people dying, but can't make an omelet without breaking some egg. What? I should have said that. Joe Stu gifting 10 good Lawgic memberships. Who'd you bring to us? Who'd you bring into the following here? Joe Stu. Let's see who we brought in. Take me a while to find it. I don't know why I don't see it. Why don't I see it? It's gotta be here somewhere. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Oh no, did I miss it? I'm so sorry, Joe Stew. All right. I'm gonna make up 10 people at the following program that Joe Stew. No, I'm not gonna do that. That'd be if you saw you were gifted courtesy of Joe Stew. I would appreciate if you would please express your gratitude to Joe Stew for the very, very generous gift that he bestowed upon you. That he bestowed upon you, because the following, like I said, is not at all a cult type of cult. There's no Kool-Aid, no mandatory tracksuits, no spaceships, no dancing around bonfires to the beat of a tom-tom while shucking off your clothing in the middle of a forest, mild farm work, no throwing virgins into volcanoes, no goat heads on stakes, no squirrel mutilations. It's not at all a cult type of cult. It's just about community, unity, leadership training. All right. So, God bless you. Speaking of people who are gifted memberships, we also had a gift that came in here. I'm going to get the gifts out of the way right up front here. Jump past that. We're going to see who Matt brought on in here to us. Where'd you bring me? God bless you, Matt. God bless you, Matt. Matt brought in Rockman X22, Dirt My Eye, Dave Cube, Hope Case Unwinder, Creative Minds, Eileen, Kathy 4, Luke Wee, Anthony Zink, and Uncle Bubba. Uncle Bubba, all these fine people brought in here, courtesy of Matt Skinner. God bless you. God bless you, Matt. Appreciate you as always. Captain Matt. What else do we have going on here? I got my grown kids plastic handlebags for Christmas. What? I don't get it, Kathy. I don't know what that means. Merry Christmas. Phil Murphy is a horse-toothed jackass. That is putting it kindly. Yes. Good Logic is the Nick Ricada of LawTube. Well, that's certainly inaccurate. I mean, whether you're looking at it technically or in any other ways. No. But I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? It's kind of amusing. It's aliens! Thomas Dietrich is speculating that it could be. No one knows. You can't say it's not. Can see them live in Asbury Park Beach Cast. Really? There you go. There's a lot of different casts that you can find them. These drones have the same unknown platitudes from government as Patriot Front, which disbanded the same day Chris Wray left the FBI. Who transported them? From where did they come? And where do they end up going? Crickets. That's what I need. I need a cricket sound here. I got this. That's not a cricket sound. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. This isn't going to work.
How dare you?
That doesn't work. I don't even know what this one is. No. What's this? No, that's not it. All right. Nah. I don't have it here. All right. I do definitely need crickets. Initials equals Pat Murphy himself. No initials his office. Could be. Could be, Ann. Not sure. I put info on locals, unwise man of what I think it is. You did? You did. I'm gonna refresh locals. We'll see what you think it is. Nope. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. You feel in charge. I don't know. I believe you. Cheers to that. Oh, we got this one. Matt says, just getting this off the blinking part of my life. Love you, Joe, but I love chat more. I got that. Oh, it blinks on you until you click off the 13 months. God bless you, Matt. Thank you. If you ever need Zadie advice or commiseration, I think I'm good. I appreciate it very, very much. RM member for 3 months. Welcome, you member for 3 months. Philip Coggins, FAA released a NOTAM about drones testing over Picatinny Arsenal back around Thanksgiving. Federal government definitely knows what these are. Don't fall for the psyop. All right, now I got to look up what a NOTAM is because that's definitely got to be some acronym for something. I'm assuming the first N is for notice, a notification. What is a NOTAM? Notice to air missions. Oh, so there you go. That explains it all. Master Phillips hit me with 5. Camera Recruitment bringing in 5. Count 5 new members to the following. Who'd you bring to us? Following 5 people brought into the following. That includes Grateful Ted, Mr. Mike, Liney, Pesca, TZ Burton, and Marianne. Welcome to the following, you fine people. Please express your gratitude to Gang Recruitment Master Phillips for his generous bestowment upon you. Thank you for the Christmas spirit. But, sir, it's Christmas. All right. Let's get into our main story here. Trying to decide whether I definitely want to go through the report. I definitely plan on going through the report because there's a lot there. And I feel as if when people are reading this report, most people don't understand how to read between the lines. So when I'm reading through this report, I plan on reading between the lines and the different political messaging that's happening there, courtesy of Representative Michael Gaetz and all these other folks there. And I'm wondering about whether or not I should preface this with different claims about, you know what, I'm not going to preface it. I'll introduce them as appropriate. That's what I'm going to do. I'll introduce them as appropriate. That's probably the best way to do it. All right, here we go. It's not a crazy long report. Not a crazy long report, which is a good thing. Let's see what allegations they have about Matt Gaetz and his illicit lifestyle. The illicit lifestyle of Matt Gaetz. Report on committee in the matter of allegations related to Representative Matt Gaetz. Report on the Committee of Ethics. Look how official this looks. Report dropped on December 23rd, 2024. All right. Adopted by Committee of Ethics on December 10th, 2024. And we kicked this thing around for the last 2 weeks trying to decide whether or not we're going to release it to the public. And now we decide we're going to do that on 2 days before Christmas, because that's very much the Christmas spirit that we have, that we're just going to dredge all this crap up, which has been kicking around for years, and just throw it and drop it on Matt Gaetz' Christmas. It's nice. Very, very nice. You're fine. You're very fine people. You're very ethical, Mr. Guest from the Committee on Ethics. Very, very ethical person. Highly ethical, Michael Guest, David P. Joyce, John Rutherford, Andrew Garbarino, Michelle Fishback, Susan Wild, Veronica Escobar, Mark Desaulnier, Deborah Ross, and Glenn F. Ivey. Every one of these souls should be humiliated by the fact that this came out now. It is. This should be humiliating to you. And you'll see why. I'll walk you through it. It's coming right here. Letter transmittal. Dear Mr. McCumber, pursuant to clauses 3A, 2, and 3B of Rule 11, the rules of the House of Representatives, I hereby transmit the attached report with dissenting views in the matter of allegations relating to Representative Matt Gaetz, courtesy of Michael Guest, a walking embarrassment. All right, get past our table of contents. Mr. Guest from the Committee on Ethics submitted the following report with dissenting views. I read like 2/3 of the way through this. I did not get to the dissenting views point. I'm curious who dissented, because I don't want to cast a brush stroke on people who were dissenting. I want to credit those people. So before we go any further, let's see who dissented. Are you going to tell us who dissented? Okay, let's look for dissent here, because I want to clear those people, and I don't want to dissenting. Oh, they don't challenge the committee's findings? Oh, then they're useless. Okay. They're useless. Never mind. They all stink. All right. Sorry. I was giving them too much credit. I was trying to give credit, but if you agree with the report itself, then you're sad. On April 9, 2021, the committee announced it was investigating a series of widely reported allegations relating to Representative Matt Gaetz. At the request of the Department of Justice, the committee deferred its review during the 117th Congress. After it was organized for the 118th Congress, the committee reauthorized the investigation. I don't care about this. No one cares about this. We had a review of allegations. Specifically, the committee undertook a review of allegations that Gaetz may have engaged in sexual misconduct and/or illicit drug use, shared inappropriate images or videos on the House floor, shared inappropriate images or videos on the House floor. More on that. Misused state identification records, converted campaign funds for personal use, and/or accepted a bribe, improper gratuity, or impermissible gift. In June 2024, following extensive fact-finding, the committee determined to continue its review of the allegations of sexual misconduct, illicit drug use, and acceptance of impermissible gifts, and expanded its review to include allegations that he may have spent special privileges and favors to individuals with whom he had a personal relationship, and obstructed our investigation. What happened to the whole shared inappropriate images or videos? What happened to that part of it? Because that's not here in this part of it. I don't know. No one really knows. Why did that go away? At that time, the committee determined to take no further action on the allegations related to the House floor. So we got no further action at that point. This is in June of 24, so just 6 months ago. To the allegations regarding the state identification records, personal use of campaign funds, and acceptance of bribe or gratuity. That tells you that they had absolutely nothing on those. So that's why they took no action there. We'll throw it out there to give you more smoke here as to how terrible we thought he was. We had literally bubkiss. We had less than bubkiss. We had less than what bubkiss uses to Bubkiss uses for his imaginary fairy dust on the acceptance of bribes or gratuities. We really had absolutely nothing. So we're like, okay, instead of going down this a little bit further and saying we have nothing, we're just going to pretend that these are charges we're not going to investigate any further. Horrible people. On November 14th, 2020. What is this? I don't want this. Why is this doing this? God. November 14, 2024, Gaetz resigned from the House after Trump announced his intention to nominate Gaetz for the position of Attorney General. As a result of his resignation, the committee lost jurisdiction to continue its investigation. Gaetz subsequently withdrew from consideration for the position of AG. At this time, he has not announced any intent to seek higher office or return to Congress. So the committee now admits, we typically don't release findings after losing jurisdiction in a matter. Is there statements admitting? We don't normally release statements. Okay. So why are you doing it now? However, there are a few prior instances when the committee has determined that it was in the public interest to release its findings even after a member's resignation from Congress. Okay, what's the yardstick you're using for that? Why sometimes do you do it and sometimes do you not do it? I mean, they give an example here. I mean, can you walk us through why this one's being released? The committee does not do so lightly. Of course you do. In this instance, although several committee members objected, a majority of the members of the committee agreed that the committee's findings should be released to the public. Why? What was the rationale? Explain it to us. You just admitted that he's not going to be AG. Why the hell would you be releasing this report? Why are you doing this 2 days before Christmas? Who does that? Seriously, who does this? Are you even in session right now? Are you even in session? Like, what kind of sick puppies are you that 2 days before Christmas, this is when you have to release this report? You're terrible people. In sum, the committee found substantial evidence of the following, and we're going to get to their evidence here that they call substantial. From at least 2017 to 2020, Representative Gaetz regularly paid women for engaging in sexual activity with him. All right. Okay. Are you saying that he committed a crime when he was doing this? Is that what you're saying? Was it criminal activity? It tells us what color, whether he wears boxers or briefs. What are we getting at here? If there's a crime, then tell us what the crime is. In 2017, Representative Gaetz engaged in sexual activity with a 17-year-old girl. We're going to talk about this a lot. A lot. And let me tell you something. This is one of the things I'm a little bit resentful of. I feel a duty to go through this report and dissect it for you so you can appreciate just how thoroughly empty it is. But I am kind of resentful of the fact that I actually had to do this. And I can imagine just how aggravating this must be for Matt Gaetz. Because I'm going to tell you this. His proclivities for what he admits is basically working hard and partying hard 6-7 years ago. It's not something that, like, I personally would endorse. I don't want anyone to mistakenly say that it's not my place to endorse or condemn someone else's private activities, particularly between consenting adults. There's a lot of behavior out there that adults engage in that if you ask me my opinion as to whether this is a healthy lifestyle choice or something that's going to lead towards their own long-term happiness, I would have many thoughts on it. And if those individuals came to me and asked me for my perspectives on that, I would share that. However, my personal taste for what's appropriate for this person or that person, so long as it's legal, for me to be casting judgment and say this is a good thing, this is a bad thing, this is a good person, that's a bad person, this is not reflective of healthiness unless you're doing it in a philosophical type of way. That I'm okay with. If you're having a philosophical conversation, but you're not attacking a particular individual as to, like, is this like a good thing? Is this a bad thing? That I can get behind. But this gossiping, I mean, literally, how humiliating is this that Congress is turning into some sort of sewing circle here where it's like, oh, did you hear what Matt Gaetz? Did you hear about who it is that Matt Gaetz took to a party? It's just insanity when you think of it from that perspective. During this period, 2017 and 2019, Gaetz used or possessed illegal drugs, including cocaine and ecstasy, on multiple occasions. Representative Gaetz accepted gifts, including transportation and lodging in connection with 2018 trip to the Bahamas in excess of permissible amounts. Are you coming after him for this? See, why is any of this relevant? Are you saying he should be removed from the House? Oh, he's not in the House anymore. Are you asking for the FBI to prosecute them? Because we're going to see that the DOJ says we have no interest in prosecuting him for any of this. The corrupt DOJ, the politically inclined corrupt DOJ. And when I say corrupt DOJ, I say this only because I've seen how they've acted for the last 4 years. And then I've had a president come out and admit that his own DOJ is corrupt. The corrupt DOJ, who, trust me, there's no love lost between the DOJ and Matt Gaetz, found nothing that they can charge him with here. But you're going to sit here talking about all these different purported crimes that he engaged in and not give him a chance to actually refute whatever claims are being thrown at him. They're just going to release this report on him 2 days before Christmas. All right. And here's the thing. Like, it feels gross having to defend this. Like I said, these are not lifestyle choices I would ever make. These are not lifestyle choices I would likely endorse. But my endorsement is not relevant here. My personal feelings on it are not relevant. And I feel uncomfortable with the fact that I feel obliged because of the fact that there's there's insinuations of criminal activity here, of illegal activity here, through really, really flimsy evidence, through hot garbage evidence. So they bring up this hot garbage evidence, and now I'm put in a position of defending a person whose lifestyle choices I likely would question if he came to me for personal advice. So I sort of feel like I'm in this awkward position of having to defend conduct that's none of my business that I personally would not ascribe to, which it feels gross. Everything about this feels gross. Everything about this whole process, everything about releasing this report, everything about this entire mess feels gross. So I don't want anyone to look at this saying, "Oh yeah, you know what? Joe's sitting here saying like this is like everything about Matt Gaetz' life is pristine." I'm not saying that. I'm saying to the extent that it's lacking in being pristine, to the extent that there's taint, that's not my business. And it's gross that I'm stuck here. Everything about this position is gross. It is. In 2018, Representative Gaetz arranged for the chief of staff to assist a woman with whom he engaged in sexual activity, obtaining a passport falsely, indicating that the U.S. Department of State that she was a constituent. The horrors. Representative Gaetz knowingly and willfully sought to impede and obstruct the committee's investigation of his conduct, and Gaetz' acted manner reflects discreditably upon the House. He's not in the House! He's not in the House. He's not there. Yes, the DOJ didn't charge him. The NCR is looking for a Category 3 radioactive sources. Is reported missing 11/25 and has been missing since 2018. They don't know where it is because the length of time missing. Yeah, that just sounds like something that. And I think I saw something that you had shared that basically tried tying this into the drones. It's so speculative. You wouldn't need to have a million drones going up. If someone wanted to drop it by a drone, they would just need one drone. So that's why I don't think it's really tied into this whole drone situation. Personally. You don't need to have 5,000 drones flying over New Jersey. So to make that link feels on my part like it would be an irresponsible thing to do, because I would basically be creating a scare over something that I personally don't believe to be a genuine connection. Because as I said, if in fact someone had some sort of radioactive nuclear type of thing that they're in possession of, which certainly may be true, to start creating a scare that it has some tie into these drones when you only would need one drone to do it, helicopter, whatever. It just seems, I don't see how there's a connection between those two stories, personally. I ever thought that Mr. Magoo was... It's crazy, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm not at all a cult leader type of leader. I'm not the leader of the following anyway. Jenna gifting another 5. 5 Good Lawgic memberships. I can't. Who'd you bring in here? Just real quick. These 5 people, you owe thank yous. You owe thank yous to Jenna here. That's Corn Pop, Opus, Prince Vibes, Cronite, and Beak Boop. Wow. You got some legends in there. Some legends. Good. Well done, Jenna. God bless you. Why didn't the Republicans stop this from being published? Can he sue them? Because the Republicans are mostly neocons who don't like him. He's one of the least hated people in D.C. Least hated? No, least loved. Most hated people in D.C. He's not popular. They don't like him there. He's not very popular there at all. Because he's very anti-establishment, and most of them are establishment. Did I miss something? Denise says, Joe, I had a friend who had severe TDS, and I asked her how many times Trump had denounced WS Nazis. She said every single time. She was BSC. I don't know what BSC stands for, but yeah. Yep. Based on the above, the committee concluded that there was substantial evidence that Representative Gaetz violated House rules, state and federal laws. The DOJ doesn't think no state government has thought that he violated state law. The DOJ doesn't think he violated federal laws, but we come to that conclusion. And other standards of conduct prohibiting prostitution, statutory rape, illicit drug use, acceptance of impermissible gifts. This is hot garbage. Statutory rape. We're going to look at the basis of that. It is ridiculous. And the term statutory means that if a girl is too young, in case you're unfamiliar with the term, if a girl is too young, she's not considered to have sufficient mindset to accept, to agree, to engage in activity. So even if so statutory means she told you yes, but her consent doesn't help because she's too young to give consent. So we don't call it actual R word, we call it statutory R word, because it's not like you forced her. She said okay. She agreed. She was totally amenable. But the law is going to view it as if there was no consent because she's too young to give consent. So that's why they call it statutory. Illicit drug use, acceptance of impermissible gifts, the provision of special favors and privileges, and obstruction of Congress. All right. The committee did not find sufficient evidence to conclude that Robert Gaetz, the Representative Gaetz, violated the federal sex trafficking statute. So we haven't got that. We haven't gotten that. We definitely got her all the other stuff here, for sure. For sure on the statutory. For sure on the prostitution and all the other stuff. Except this person impermissible gifts. Totally. Although Gaetz did cause the transportation of women across state lines purposes of commercial sex, the committee did not find sufficient evidence that any of those women were under 18 at the time of travel. We have to throw this little nugget at you. Nor did the committee find sufficient evidence to conclude that commercial acts were induced by force, fraud, or coercion. So let's just so we understand what this last sentence here means. A whole bunch of girls said, yes, we're really happy to go from Alabama, New Orleans to Florida to go party with Matt Gaetz. That's what this means. They were not under 18. And he's like, oh, here's money for you to for their plane to get out here. So this is what they're citing in this terrible report, that he basically said, oh yeah, I'll cover your flights. And basically covered flights for women to come meet him in Florida. They were over 18. There was nothing illegal about it, but that he did that a lot. So we need to tell the public about this and try and embarrass him before Christmas, because that's what we need to do. Must release this report to the public. You all must know about this. You all must know about this. They could have been 40-year-old women, and this would be the same thing. Frankly, I doubt they were 40, but Gaetz was, so they agreed to. So just be clear, this is not, they make it sound as if he's drugging these women and throwing them in the back of in his trunk and crossing state lines with them. Like this is what you would think we have going on here. Gaetz was uncooperative throughout the committee's review, as well he should be. He should have told you to go jump in a lake and to impale yourselves on some painful objects. He provided minimal documentation in response to the committee's requests. He also did not agree to voluntary interview. Surprise, surprise, because this entire thing was very clearly rigged against him from before it even started. On July 11th, the committee issued a subpoena to Representative Gaetz for his testimony. He didn't appear, despite having received notice of date and time of deposition. Now, I want to get to this. We're going to jump along here because he's not the only one who thinks that this committee is a joke. You're going to be surprised to see who else thought this was a joke. Committee then sent Gaetz a set of written questions, to which he issued a public response and ignored most of the direct questions and told us there were a bunch of cucks who were wasting our time. He mischaracterized the committee's investigation and his participation at this point. Despite Gaetz' claims to the contrary, the committee's singular mission is to protect the integrity of the House. That is definitely not true. If you care about the integrity of the House, you wouldn't have shared this report, because this report is an embarrassment. When faced with serious public allegations against a member, the committee will often investigate. When the allegations are false, the committee has shared goal with the respondent to disprove those allegations. Well, why is the DOJ not charging him? You're claiming he committed all these crimes. The Biden DOJ doesn't want to go after this hardcore Trump fan. Why would that be? Why would that be? Idiots. You lying liars. While the committee considered whether to establish an investigative subcommittee to consider sanctions, we ultimately determined they would not risk further victimization of the women involved in the matter. Also, we realized that those people look like idiots. Most of the women with whom the committee spoke gave statements to the DOJ and urged the committee to rely on those statements in lieu of requiring them to relive their experience. So the women who we wanted to talk to, they thought we were a joke also. They were fine with answering the DOJ, but they recognized that a congressional House Ethics Committee is pretty stupid and a joke. So they treat us like a joke and said, we're not gonna bother answering your questions, and we'll say, I don't want to relive the experience of that party I had with Matt Gaetz. Oh, the experience. Look how they phrase this. Oh, these poor victims who went to parties with Matt Gaetz. These poor 20-year-old victims. Oh, the horror of the whole situation. We don't want to have to relive it. No, they told you that you're a bunch of losers and we don't care to talk to you. They are particularly concerned to provide additional testimony about a sitting congressman in light of DOJ's lack of action in the prior testimony, because the DOJ said, so you're saying that he told you he wanted to engage with you. You said yes, and then you engaged. Yes. So basically, we feel like we're your diary here, just taking down, like, dear diary. Today, I went to a party with Matt Gaetz. There was lots of blow. What is happening here? Why is this anything? What about this is anything? Why would the DOJ have a lack of action? Oh, well, because there's no crime. That we're going to tell you, the entire world, there's a crime going on here. DOJ refused to provide the relevant statements and other significant evidence to the committee. They told us we're a bunch of losers also. They don't care. The DOJ cited internal policies about protecting uncharged subjects like Representative Gaetz, general concerns about how DOJ's cooperation with the committee might deter other victims in matters, and various inapposite policies related to congressional oversight of the DOJ itself, telling us that they think we're a bunch of losers also. That's what happened. The DOJ told us we're losers, and they don't care what requests we have of them. The DOJ's initial deferral request and subsequent lack of cooperation with the committee's review caused significant delays in the investigation. It would have been much easier if the DOJ gave us respect. Why won't they respect us? I don't understand why the DOJ doesn't want to listen to us when we said we'd really like your information. Those delays were compounded by Representative Gaetz' obstructive efforts. You're getting obstructed by the DOJ. You think the person you're trying to witch hunt should be helping you? Idiots. The committee has determined that its findings must be released without further impediments. Why? Why? What happened? Bunch of losers. On April 9th, here's our procedural history. April 9th, 2021, the committee publicly announced it was investigating allegations relating to Gaetz about these different issues. So we got the misconduct, the drug use, the alleged sharing of inappropriate images. What are these inappropriate images or videos on the House floor? What is it, like pictures of from the Hunter Biden laptop? I have a feeling that's what it is. I have a feeling that's what, when they say shared inappropriate images, videos on the House floor, this sounds like he showed pictures of Hunter's laptop. And they accepted a bribe, improper gratuity, and permissible gift. Shortly thereafter, DOJ requested that the committee defer all investigation of Representative Gaetz, and the committee did so. They said to us, why are you looking into him? What are you doing here? In February 2023, the committee asked DOJ for an update. Reports indicate DOJ informed Gaetz and multiple witnesses that the congressman would not be charged in connection with the investigation. Well, why is Biden's DOJ not charging him? Oh, because there's no crime. So we said, since you can't find a crime, we're going to see what dirt we can muck up about him. Shortly thereafter, the DOJ informed the committee it was no longer requesting a deferral. The chairman and ranking member reauthorized the matter in May of 2023, and we said, yay, we can finally go after Matt Gaetz. On June 18, 2024, the committee announced that the scope of the inquiry would focus on allegations of sexual misconduct, illegal drug use, acceptance of improper gifts, dispensation of special privileges and favors to individuals, and all that other stuff. And obstruction of government investigations. Apparently, the DOJ didn't think he was obstructing, but the House Ethics Committee thinks so. The committee also stated it would not continue to investigate allegations of sharing inappropriate messages or videos on the House floor because we realized we look like idiots. Idiots for that. Using state identification records, converting campaign funds because he never stole any campaign funds, and we couldn't find anything to even support a whimsy of that. So we just let that part go, and we're making it sound as if we're doing that out of the goodness of our hearts, when really the entire charges from the get-go were complete crap. We might as well have claimed that he was a Russian asset. Oh, wait. and accepting a bribe or improper gratuity, because that too was a joke. We also dropped all charges against him for murder and arson. Like, who the hell do you think you are? Where's the murder charges? Where's the arson charges? Oh, we dropped those. We dropped those too. The chairman and ranking members sent 9 requests for information and 6 freedom of FOIA requests, 29 subpoenas for documents, reviewed nearly 14,000 documents, contacted more than 24 witnesses, sworn written responses from an associate of Representative Gaetz, Joel Greenberg. Joel Greenberg. Joel Greenberg. Joel Greenberg. As discussed further, however, the committee determined that due to credibility issues, it would not rely exclusively on information provided by Mr. Greenberg in making any findings. Do you guys know what credibility issues they're talking about with respect to Joel Greenberg? You want to know why there's all sorts of problems with them relying on Joel Greenberg? This is Joel Greenberg. 2 years ago, sentenced 11 years after cooperating with federal probe into Matt Gaetz. In other words, after being a honeypot, after being like basically almost certainly helping to try and ensnare Matt Gaetz. Convicted fraudster Joel Greenberg cooperated extensively with the Justice Department's sex trafficking probe, and the GOP representative Matt Gaetz was sentenced Thursday. This is back in December 2022, 2 years ago, to 11 years in prison. Former Seminole County tax collector previously pleaded guilty to underage sex trafficking, wire fraud, stalking, identity theft, producing a fake ID card, conspiring to defraud the U.S. government. And he's been in jail since early 2021. He also was charged with having lied about his political adversary and falsely claiming that his political adversary had engaged with sex with minors. Meaning, this is exactly the type of lie that he's telling about Matt Gaetz is what the DOJ charged him with. That, hey, you're sitting here just making up garbage about people, claiming that they're having sex with minors. So, yeah, that's the guy. That's their source. That's who the House Ethics Committee says we need to release a report based on what this guy tells us. Unbelievable. Shortly after the DOJ withdrew its referral request, the committee reauthored. So that's this guy, Mr. Greenberg. Joel Greenberg. Slimy Joel Greenberg. They're saying, don't worry, it's not just Joel Greenberg. We got other sources also. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Strong Snow said the Secret Service would have to scurry away all party goers whenever JFK's wife returned to the Capitol. I've heard about the degeneracy of the Clinton administration. Now Graham's ladybugs. What even is this? It's a joke. That's what it is. It's a freaking joke. Gaetz really raised his eyebrows at this report. I know what you're doing there. It's pretty funny. I'll tip my cap on that. That's not bad. OpenAI, write me a full report of BS allegations against Matt Gaetz, Alec Kavanaugh confirmation hearing. Result this. Presto blammo. Exactly right, Mr. Phillips. Yep, that's what this is basically. Shortly after the DOJ withdrew, by the way, I'm going to share with you something. Now that once you said this, Master Phillips, I'm going to share with you all something here. I asked AI. I asked Grok a question that I plan on tweeting out later, but I'm going to share with you fine people first. I need to share this with you first. So I'm going to. Where is ya? Where is ya? I highly recommend that you guys try this at home. Highly recommend. This was great. I love this. I asked Grok to describe me Donald Trump style. Folks, let me tell you about good Lawgic. Will Winner, this guy, he's got the best posts on X. Believe me, nobody does it better. He's out there calling out the fake news, the leaks, the whole establishment. He knows the game, sees right through the swamp, he's not afraid to tell it like it is. He's a fighter, a defender of the truth. He's got more energy than anyone in the room. I mean, he's got posts that are just tremendous, incredible. Nobody believed he could do it, but here he is exposing the phonies, the leaks, and the whole corrupt system. Good Lawgic. He's a real patriot, true American. He's making big, beautiful difference. Tremendous. Oh, God. I love that. I really love that. So I highly recommend you try that out. It was huge. Huge. That was great. All right. Shortly after the DOJ withdrew its deferral request and the committee reauthorized its review, the committee sent DOJ a request for information. After 3 months, so this is what happened when the committee tries getting help from the DOJ. This is hilarious. This is like, we're such losers that the DOJ laughs at us. So we send the DOJ a request for information. After 3 months, without a response, despite repeated follow-up, the committee submitted FOIA requests to several relevant DOJ offices, which to date have not been adequately processed. The DOJ thinks we're useless idiots. The committee continued to reach out to the DOJ throughout 2023, having still not received a substantive response to a request for information. On January 12, 2024, the committee received its first correspondence from DOJ on the matter. At that time, the DOJ provided no substantive response or explanation for its delay. Instead, DOJ simply stated that it does not provide non-public information about law enforcement investigations that do not result in charges. Basically told us, hey, that we can go have coitus with ourselves. This policy, however, is inconsistent with DOJ's historical conduct with respect to the committee and its unique role in upholding the integrity of the House. You don't uphold anyone's integrity with this crap, though. And the DOJ clearly saw through that. Thereafter, the committee determined to issue a subpoena to DOJ to obtain records related to its investigation of Gaetz. DOJ, again, did not comply with the subpoena by the date required, but suggested they remain committed to good faith engagement with the committee. We're really going to help you out. Keep pulling this chain. In the spirit of cooperation, the committee provided a list of specific documents, particularized demands to subpoena. Among the demands was a request for any exculpatory evidence relating to Representative Gaetz. On March 13th, committee members met with the Assistant Attorney General for the Office of Legislative Affairs and the Principal Deputy Assistant Attorney General for the Criminal Division of DOJ. DOJ officials again cited no legal basis for failing to comply with the subpoena. They think we're a joke. DOJ subsequently requested additional context for the committee's demands, which the committee provided. So the DOJ is like, tell us why you want this garbage. After further attempts at meaningful accommodation, DOJ's concerns about the breadth of the committee's request, DOJ ultimately provided publicly reported information about the testimony of a deceased individual. So they sent us to some website of some dude sitting in his underwear who's keeping track of different publicly reported stuff. And they said, there you go. There's a list of all the things that we shared with the public months ago. There's the answer to your question. To date, DOJ has provided no meaningful evidence or information to the committee or cited any lawful basis for the response other than the fact that they think we're a bunch of losers. Our response is to tell them we're very upset with them for having that opinion. The committee hopes to continue to engage with DOJ on broader issues raised by its failure to recognize the committee's unique mandate. You don't have a freaking unique mandate. You suck. The DOJ told you you suck and you're useless and you're stupid, and we don't care about your stupid subpoenas. As the committee has told DOJ, the committee and DOJ should be partners in their shared mission of upholding the integrity of our governmental institutions. Why? Where's the prosecution? Oh, you couldn't prosecute the DOJ. Oh. The point, which I am sure went over your head, High Sparrow, is that even the DOJ thinks that these claims of their political enemy is stupid. Even the DOJ thinks it's stupid. The committee initially made a narrowly tailored request for information to Representative Gaetz, seeking information limited to the allegations that would not be within the DOJ's jurisdiction. It's hilarious how they've been stonewalled by the DOJ. So Gaetz doesn't give him anything here, and then the committee requested Gaetz inform the committee whether he agreed to a particular voluntary interview, and he told us that we can go screw ourselves. And then on May 24th, he gave us written denials of the allegations, and that went back and forth for several months over the course of the summer. Give us your records. He told us we can go to hell. And he ended up basically not giving us what we were asking for, much like the DOJ didn't give us anything we asked for. The committee noted to Gaetz that an interview would be an opportunity to respond to allegations against the relevant questions arising out of the review. This implies that you actually had a good faith interest in the questions, which you didn't. Because if you did, you would have saw that the DOJ didn't care anything about this. Why do you? However, he declined to voluntarily participate, again making demands of the committee instead. And on with how Gaetz was very, very difficult with us. He didn't give us what we wanted at all. We don't believe in the Fifth Amendment, so we basically kept pressing him on it. On November 14, 2024, Gaetz submitted his resignation to the House. And on December 10th, while several members of the committee objected, a majority of the members voted to release the report because we're a bunch of cuck losers. That's essentially what they're saying. All right. Relevant rules and applicable standards. So the Mann Act prohibits the knowing transportation of individuals to interstate or foreign commerce engaged in prostitution or other illegal sexual activity. The DOJ said, we don't think there's a violation of the Mann Act here. We're going to tell you that we think there is. So the DOJ doesn't know what they're talking about, even though they would love to, even though they've gone after every one of Trump's allies that they possibly can, they still didn't think they would have enough to stick on Matt Gaetz, so they dropped these charges. But we definitely think there's a lot of smoke here and a lot of fire that's burning. Specifically prohibits transportation of minors with the intent to engage in commercial sex or illegal sexual activity. However, if a defendant establishes that she reasonably believes the individual with whom she engaged in commercial sex was at least 18, the defendant may avoid criminal liability. Is there a single allegation that Gaetz thought anyone he was transporting was under 18? No. Throughout this report, nobody makes a claim that Gaetz thought he was engaging with a 17-year-old. One of the things that I want to stress to you about this report that is very important for you to understand, nothing in this report, as hard as they try pushing on this, there's nothing in this report that states that a single individual would go on record claiming that Matt Gaetz ever believed he was engaging in a sexual encounter with a minor. If you believe every word of this report to be true, despite all the inconsistencies, despite the lack of credible sources, even if you believe every one of these non-credible sources, these non-credible sources do not claim that Matt Gaetz knowingly, intentionally, willfully had sex with a minor. The worst of these claims are that he thought that a girl was over 18 and that girl was not over 18. That is the worst of these claims. But they're basically, and then that comes up in the relevance of this context here, where they say that would be a defense if the person reasonably believed that the individual with whom they engaged in sex was at least 18 years old. So why do we keep going on about this whole minor thing? Oh, because we feel like this is something that we can really harp on that will make much bigger waves in headlines. And our whole goal here is to basically be as cruel and disgusting and salacious as we possibly can to our political enemies 2 days before Christmas. Sections 24, 21, and 22 are not limited to transportation minors, but the criminal division of DOJ stated does not prosecute these statutes in every case to which they're violated, but only with evidence of a victim of severe forms of trafficking in persons, which clearly there wasn't over here. Federal law also prohibits obstruction of Congress. Specifically, under 18 U.S.C. 1505, it's a crime either corruptly or through threats or influence obstruction to impede the due and proper exercise of power and inquiry of a House committee. And yet here we are not going after the DOJ for that. Why are you not doing that? You keep documenting here how the DOJ laughed in your face. Federal law prohibits tampering with witnesses in a congressional proceeding, pursuant to 18 U.S.C. 1512b. Okay. Who tampered with witnesses? Where do we see that? Florida state laws says statutory law, it's a felony for a person 24 years of age or older to engage in activity with a 16 or 17-year-old. Now, this is one of those things, and I'm curious about your take about this. This is Florida's statutory law. That if a girl is 16 or 17, you have a person who's over 24, which he was at the time, that they engage with someone who is 17, that this is a crime in Florida. I asked Grok this question. Because I know that in New York, and this is something I learned many decades ago, in New York, the age of consent is 17. So I was curious. Which is more common? Well, I'm curious about your thoughts. Which do you think is more common? Don't Google it. Don't look it up. What do you think is more common age of consent? What do you think is the most common age of consent in this country? Most common as far as it's legal to give consent. What do you think is the most? Throw a number out there. Age of consent that you can consent to engage in coitus with any person of any age. Throw a number out there. I'm seeing 16. Most common in this country, 18, 18, 16, 16, 17, 16, 18. What would you say? You say 18. 30 states out of 50 in this country make age of consent 16. 16 is age of consent in 30 states in this country, according to Grok. 8 states make age of consent 17. 12 states make age of consent 18. So this girl who was he allegedly engaged in having sex with consensual with a 17-year-old, which in 38 states would not be a crime. Now, I sort of feel gross defending on these lines. I'm not going to kid you. I don't like having to defend on these lines. That's part of what makes this story pretty gross. But the reality is, for those of you who think it's such a terrible thing, in 38 states, what he did here would not have been a crime, as it happens in Florida. If it's true, it would be a crime in Florida. But I think that's a large part of the reason that many people, when they hear this story, they're just like, really? That's the deal? So if he was like one state over, there would have been nothing here at all? Like literally nothing here at all? But because it's in Florida? But you don't want to say something like that because that makes it sound as if you're sort of giving a pass to this type of conduct, which feels gross. Because I'm not going to kid you. I think it's gross. Honestly, I think, right, between you and me, I think a 30-year-old with a 19-year-old is gross. I do. I think it's gross. But that, again, comes back to my personal opinion on the matter. And of all the wrongs that people are committing in this country, 30-year-old with a 19-year-old seems way down on the list. All right. So, let's go forward. It's also a criminal offense under Florida state law to solicit, indict, procure for prostitution. And you can't have controlled substances. All right. Pursuant to 5 U.S.C. 7353, the gift rule, members of Congress subject to broad limitation on solicitation and acceptance of gifts. They may not knowingly accept any gift except as provided in the rule. This would be a lot more relevant if he was still in the House. Like, okay, no one cares about. All right. As the ethics manual explains, gifts include gratuities, favors, discounts, entertainment, hospitality, loans, forbearances, etc. This sounds like you're really being kind of ticky-tacky on the gift thing, but who knows? I don't know. A gift received through a personal friendship where fair market value is more than $250 requires formal approval from the committee. With respect to a trip, the value is viewed as a whole and thus includes transportation, lodging, and meals expenses paid for by the gift giver. Certain considerations must be made to determine whether to accept a gift of over $250 related to a personal friendship, such as the history of personal friendship, whether the gift giver personally paid for the gift or sought a tax deduction, whether gift givers gave similar gifts to other members. In addition, members are required to report the receipt of certain gifts from non-relatives when the aggregate value exceeds the minimum value. The minimum value in 2024 is $480. Okay. Let's get into the claims here. I want to start getting down into that rather than their ticky-tacky rules for a guy who's not in the House anymore. On March 3rd, 2021, the New York Times reported that Gaetz was under investigation by DOJ for possible violation of sex trafficking laws. The investigation reportedly related to allegations that Gaetz had a relationship with a 17-year-old and paid for her to travel with him. On April 1, 2021, additional reporting indicated the federal investigation included allegations involving cash payments, use of illegal substances, the recruitment of women online for sex, the use of campaign funds to pay for travel for women. DOJ investigation was part of an ongoing inquiry involving a former county tax collector in Florida named Joel Greenberg, who was sentenced to 11 years in prison in 2022. So he basically was in their sights because of his relationship with Joel Greenberg. The committee record shows that shortly after he was sworn into Congress in 2017, Gaetz became friends with Mr. Greenberg, who had also recently taken office as the Seminole County tax collector. According to Greenberg, the two met at the house of Christopher Dorworth. Remember this name here, okay? So the two names you want to remember are Joel Greenberg, the guy who's convicted, and then this other person here, Christopher Dorworth, who's a Florida lobbyist. His name is going to come up a lot in this report, Christopher Dorworth. He's someone that they interviewed. When we get to the nitty-gritty of his interview, we're going to see that Dorworth and his attorneys claim that this report is filled with lies about what he told them during the course of his deposition and demanding a retraction based on the lies that are in this report here, that in this ethics report, this very ethical report about Matt Gaetz. Mr. Greenberg and Gaetz frequently attended parties and other gatherings with young women in attendance. Many of these women were initially contacted by Mr. Greenberg by the website seekingarrangement.com, which is now called seeking.com. Greenberg subsequently introduced the women to Gaetz. That website advertised itself as sugar dating website that primarily connected older men, younger women seeking mutually beneficial relationships. The website was generally understood by many of the women interviewed by the committee to involve, at minimum, an exchange of companionship for money. There have been prosecutions against individuals for trafficking that originated with contacts made through seekingarrangement.com or similar websites, and some have called for the website to be shut down due to its facilitation of prostitution. Platforms such as seekingarrangement.com are known to make it easier for traffickers to exploit victims and connect with buyers. Okay. The committee did not receive any evidence that Gaetz had his own account on that website, so this is all Greenberg's doing. Greenberg indicated he frequently showed this site to Representative Gaetz. Very, very reliable Greenberg indicated he frequently showed this site to Gaetz, and he provided his login credentials to Gaetz. According to Greenberg, he and Representative Gaetz would split the cost of drugs, hotels, and girls. For example, the committee reviewed evidence that such activity occurred in July 2017. Specifically, evidence showed that Gaetz, Greenberg, and others gathered at a rental property located in the Brickell neighborhood of Miami for a weekend that began on July 7, 2017. Gaetz and Mr. Greenberg also spent time in Fort Lauderdale during the Miami stay, during which time Gaetz withdrew at least $1,200 in cash from 3 different accounts at a single ATM. So he was definitely, it seems like he was in the partying mood. On June 22nd, Gaetz paid $6,300 for that rental booking. On July 9th, Greenberg paid Representative Gaetz $1,600 by check. Greenberg stated the check was reimbursement for a share of the rental. Greenberg also noted that they met up with another individual for dinner that weekend, and he shared a photo of Gaetz himself and another individual on social media on July 8th. The committee received evidence confirming that Gaetz at times personally made payments to women who attended parties with him and Mr. Greenberg using various peer-to-peer electronic payment services as well as checks and cash. Is that prostitution? We don't know, but he was giving money to some of these girls who he met through this, who Greenberg introduced him to, that Greenberg found them on this site. So are you seeing how this connections are starting to stretch like a little bit thinner? So Gaetz not on the site. This guy Greenberg comes to Gaetz and he's on this site, and he's basically, I don't know, they're trying to imply that he's pimping girls to and partying with Gaetz. The committee's record also indicates that Greenberg sometimes paid women for having sex with Gaetz and was sometimes reimbursed by Gaetz. Witnesses indicated there were times where a lump sum would be sent to one woman and then she would distribute it like she was the sugar mama of the place. What do they call it? The madam of the place. The money evenly among others who attended the parties. Likewise, in one instance, Gaetz sent $400 to Greenberg with the note, "Hit up Victim A." I love how they call this Victim A. That's this right here tells you where they're coming from. Anyone who they're basically saying that since this person engaged with Gaetz, they're victim. They could attach any name they want. They could have called her Jane Doe. No, we're going to call her Victim A. Mr. Greenberg then sent 2 women payments totaling $400, including Victim A. It's so stupid. It's so ridiculous. Everything about this is so gross. No comment. No comment. It's all right. Quick check over here. Make sure I'm not missing anything that's happening. I do a quick peek around on my different sites here. Yes, I'm even peeking on locals. Da 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 da. Yeah, da 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 da. On August 19, 2020, Greenberg was indicted on a charge related to his misuse of motor vehicle records and identification documents in his role as Seminole County tax collector and his attempt to falsely accuse a political opponent of being a pedo. That's right. Greenberg was charged with falsely accusing a political opponent of being a pedo. And now he's accusing Matt Gaetz of being a pedo. You can't make this up. You cannot make this stuff up. How sad is this House Ethics Committee? We're relying on someone who was charged with falsely accusing someone else with being a pedo, and he's the one who's enlightening us and telling us that Matt Gaetz is a pedo. Okay. He was also charged with trafficking of a child, victim A, wire fraud, bribery of public official, theft of government property, related charges, pleaded guilty to 6 charges, including trafficking of victim A in May 2021, but his sentencing was delayed until December 2022 because of his ongoing cooperation in several other matters, meaning that they got him to try and flip on Matt Gaetz almost assuredly. That's my own read into this. Likely they tried getting to flip on Matt Gaetz, and whatever he gave him on Matt Gaetz still didn't help the DOJ prosecuting him. As part of his cooperation, he provided information with ultimately corroborated and ended in successful prosecutions, but nothing against Matt Gaetz. Much to our chagrin, nothing against Matt Gaetz. We really don't like Matt. Transactional nature of his interactions. From 2017 to 2020, Gaetz made tens of thousands of dollars in payments to women that the community determined were likely in connection with his sexual activity and or drug use. Notice how they say and or drug use? So maybe they were providing drugs. He was giving them money for drugs. Is that possible? We're still going to say that it was prostitution. It really could be that they were coming with drugs and he was paying them for the drugs. And once they were there, they're like, oh, okay. Maybe it's like drugs with benefits. I don't know. I don't think the House knows. Payments were made to these women using peer-to-peer payment platforms such as PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App, while Representative Gaetz had accounts in his name on each of those platforms. He also sometimes paid with another person's PayPal account or through an account held on the pseudonymous email account. Gaetz also paid some of the women by check or cash. Here's our chart that we made as the payments he made to Greenberg. So first he has his girlfriend he gave $63,000 to. See, this is over a 4-year period. Girlfriend, he's giving $15,000 a year, over $16,000 a year on average, less than 16 on average, over a 4-year period. I don't know what the heck that is. And then you have these other women who he gave money to. $4,000 to women 2, $2,600 to women 3, $6,000 to women 4, $4,000 to women 5, etc. And Joel Greenberg got $39.50 over this 2-year period. So here are the 12 women he gave money to, some as little as $200, some his girlfriend got $63,000. His non-girlfriend, the most anyone got was $6,100. And all sorts of ranging in between. Okay. Our record indicates that Gaetz was in a long-term relationship with a woman, and therefore some of those payments may have been legitimate nature. Oh, you think so? Oh, you think so? You think so? However, as discussed below, women want to assert her Fifth Amendment rights. So we're going to pretend that she doesn't have a right to Fifth Amendment, and we're going to say that since she asserted her Fifth Amendment right when asked for the payments from her to Gaetz were for sexual activity or drugs and for her to pass on to other such purposes. Based on the assertion, so since looks like this slimy House ethics. No one gets this far in the reports. Based on that assertion, what's her assertion? The Fifth Amendment. Combined with evidence received from other sources, we found substantial reason to believe that most of these payments were for such activity. Which activity are you even talking about now? Drug use or sexual activity? There's no way to know. They're so purposefully vague here. This is part of the corruption. We're going to be purposefully vague so that his political enemies and those who dislike them can basically read into this whatever the hell they want to read into it. call this woman victim A, throw out this little pie chart of money that he's giving out, most of which going to his girlfriend that they admit is probably okay, and then say, we don't know if he's spending this money on prostitution. We don't know if it's on drugs. You can decide for yourselves whatever it is. Just know that we think he's very, very guilty here. The DOJ has no interest in charging him. They can't find anything on him. We're sure he's guilty. Of what, we can't tell you. We don't know if he's guilty of drugs. We don't know if he's guilty of prostitution. We're definitely sure he's guilty. Definitely guilty. DOJ doesn't want to charge him. We don't know why. We don't know why Biden's DOJ doesn't want to indict this Trump ally. It's crazy to us. It's crazy to us because the evidence is so crystal clear to us. We have all this confounding evidence from Joel Greenberg, very reliable source, Joel Greenberg. All right. The committee was not able to speak with every woman who received payments from Gaetz that was suspected of being part of illicit activity. Several women initially were responsive to the committee's outreach, but later told the committee they would not voluntarily participate when they realized that we're a bunch of cucks and that the DOJ was telling us that we can go eat our own shorts. Other women were clear at first contact that they feared retaliation or unwilling to voluntarily relive their interactions with Representative Gaetz. Oh, the horror! I can't relive the horror! Oh, it was terrible! Oh, my! All those years I had of that horror where I made $400 while having drugs with Gaetz. Oh, my God. Due to the women's reluctance to cooperate, as well as the delay caused by the DOJ's deferral request and subsequent refusal to provide meaningful cooperation, we're unable to determine the full extent at which Gaetz' payments to women were compensation for engaging activity with sexual activity with him, or whether or not they were actually good and made completely in good faith, and there was nothing really illegal or wrongful about these monies he gave them. However, the record for the committee provides substantial reason, which we can't tell you. Oh, here we go. One male witness recalled seeing Gaetz give cash to a woman at a party's home. He asked Gaetz whether the payments were sex. Gaetz denied it. When asked whether he believed Gaetz, the witness only stated he wanted to believe him. Ooh, how criminal. Oh, man. Smoking gun. He said he wanted to believe him, but he didn't know that he believed him. Greenberg also received cash reimbursements for paying women on Representative Gaetz' behalf. Very reliable. Greenberg says that. Amount does not include cash or cash checks that may ultimately received by the women. All right. So, the record for the committee provides substantial reason to believe that many of the payments at Sharp were made in connection with sexual activity and or illicit drug use. Why is this something you're talking about now? Why is this being released now? We still don't know. And if it really was all drugs, which it could have been, I don't know. Frankly, the totals we're talking about here over a period of 4 years is, if we take out the 63,000, you're talking about 6, 12, 16, 21, say now we're at 22, 23, let's say that we're at 25, 26, plus another 6,000. So you're talking about $32,000 over 4 years. I never had a drug habit, but to me, $32,000, supposedly his family is very wealthy, $32,000 over 4 years doesn't even sound like a crazy drug habit. About $8,000 a year. And likely he wasn't using all of it himself. And you're saying some of it was for sexual activity. I don't know what we're supposed to take out of any of this, other than the fact that you really hate Gaetz. That's what I get from this. You really hate Gaetz. You can't tell us why this is the exception to the rule. You can't. You're basically assuming that he's guilty of all the things that the DOJ refuses to charge him for, and don't want to give him any opportunity to actually respond to any of these charges. Everything about this is so shady and slimy. This is all on Michael Gaetz, who's the Republican who oversees the ethics committee. This is all on him and Susan Wild, who leaked this, which is far more. I'm going to tell you right now, her leaking it seems far more unethical than anything he did here. And this is not behavior that I'm proud to say, oh, yeah, let the man live. It's just like, we're talking 7 years later now, and you're trying to like excoriate him for stuff 7 years after the fact. So the committee wasn't able to quantify the amounts of cash payments. Representative Gaetz refused to answer questions because he's not an idiot about his relationship with women involved. There was, however, evidence that he understood and shared many of the women's transactional views of their arrangements. In one text exchange viewed by the committee, Gaetz balked at a woman's request that he send her money after he accused her of ditching him on a night when she was feeling tired, claiming she only gave him a drive-by, whatever that means. We think we know what that means, but we have no idea. The women asserted to Representative Gaetz that she was being treated differently than other women he was paying for sex. The committee also obtained text messages in which Gaetz' then girlfriend informed some of the women who were typically paid for sex that quote, the guys want me to share that they are a little limited in their cash flow this weekend. Matt was like, if you can be more of a customer appreciation week. That's funny. Customer appreciation. A few months later, she noted that, by the way, Matt also mentioned he is going to be a bit generous because of the customer appreciation thing last time. If they're trusting him on the customer appreciation, all right. That makes it seem like this is not purely transactional. For all they knew, he would ditch them afterwards. Another woman specifically recalled a conversation with Gaetz about issues with Mr. Greenberg's following through with expected payments after Greenberg's encounters with her. Greenberg told the committee that Representative Gaetz was aware that the women they had sex with and paid had met Greenberg through their sugar dating websites. And he's very reliable and credible. Joel Greenberg told the committee that Gaetz was aware that this was all just some prostitution ring. Gaetz did not appear to have negotiated specific payment amounts prior to engaging in activity with the women he paid. Instead, the women had general expectation, which also makes it hard to say that they're prostitutes. If he can decide to pay whatever he wants, hard to believe that they're really prostitutes. Instead, the women had general expectation. In 2017, using a pseudonymous account, Gaetz made payments to women largely without a description of the purpose of the payment. After several months, he began to use other payment accounts, including ones with his own name. Gaetz did not provide any information regarding the tens of thousands of dollars in payments he made to over a dozen women, despite being offered the opportunity to do so by the committee. Because why would he? When you clearly had the predetermined answers in your own mind, why the hell would he give you some quote for you to twist? Gaetz was provided the list of women who the committee found received payments from the beginning of 2017, was asked to inform the committee the purpose of those payments, as well as to inform the committee how he knew the individual and whether, if you engaged in sexual activity with the individual, did she ever indicate to you that she expected payment for engaging in that activity with you. Rather than answer the question, Gaetz asserted incorrectly, you ask in part whether I had sex with a list of adult women over the past 7 years. The lawful consensual sexual activities of adults are not business of Congress. Which part of this is incorrect? Which part of this is incorrect? You ask in part whether I've had sex with a list of adult women over the past 7 years. And who I had sex with is none of your freaking business. Frankly, sounds totally spot on to me. It's not your business. But Michael Guest thinks it's his business. He thinks it's his business. Many of the women interviewed by the committee were clear that there was a general expectation of sex. One woman who was paid more than $5,000 by Gaetz between 2018 and 2019 told the committee 99% of the time that Gaetz and I would hang out, there was sex involved. That's number 56, but we got number 56. She said, Matt Gaetz paid me for sex. That was the extent of our interaction. It was understood that sex for money was the arrangement. That's damning. Text messages obtained by the committee show that Representative Gaetz would also ask women to bring drugs to the rendezvous, in some instances requesting marijuana cartridges and repaying the women directly, but in other cases requesting a full complement of party favors, vitamins, or rolls. Gaetz sent one woman several $100s for marijuana cartridges, One woman said that she, with respect to 2018 Bahamas trip, myself and Gaetz, then girlfriend, brought drugs with us, and I do know that Matt supplied his then girlfriend with money. Okay. Another woman said that she brought cocaine to at least one event with Gaetz and that she witnessed him taking cocaine or ecstasy on at least 5 occasions. Okay. Greenberg told the committee he would typically provide drugs such as X for events he attended, and Gaetz would pay him back in cash. Several other women observed Gaetz to be under the influence of drugs. Additionally, nearly every witness interviewed observed Gaetz using marijuana. Whoa. 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 Read that again. Nearly every witness interview observed Gaetz using marijuana. Whoa. 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 Oh my God. You can tell the stench of weed is being wafted away by the stench of desperation in this report. Oh my God. Anyway, I want to get down to the 17-year-old because that's the thing that most people care about. Ooh, here's his text message. Messages between Joel Greenberg and a 20-year-old female. I don't know how this is relevant. I mean, I understand how they think it's relevant, but it's not really very damning. This is the type of thing that another example. We got text messages appeared to show Gaetz messaging a woman new through Mr. Greenberg, inviting her to travel on a private plane to Key West from May 19th to 21, 2017, with 2 guys, 4 girls. Very high quality, adventurous group. She initially responded, "Yeah, I'm in," to which Gaetz said, "Fantastic. As is true with all time you spend with me, it'll be fun and very chill." Wow. Wow. My God. What a monster. I can't believe that they forced the women to relive these experiences. What a freaking monster. These are adult women. And can you believe that he said to them, "Fantastic, they'll come hang out at this party with me, and you'll, if you spend time with me, it'll be fun and very chill." What a monster. Then he showed up in a casual shirt with his arm around. There's a photograph where he's wearing a casual shirt, his arm around her in a dimly lit bar. Like, this is so stupid. What are you talking about? This is what we have to release. The public has to know. Everyone's got to know that he's going to these parties with 4 women. Oh, my God. This is the evidence. Oh, my gosh, the evidence. This is so shame. This is. It's weird when you have a report that's both shameful and shameless. It's shameless and shameful. They're generally older than the women that Mr. Greenberg had previously introduced to Gaetz. There's other seeking arrangements. So let's come after him now for the 25-year-olds who he engaged with. Why? No one knows. But we're going to talk about that also. All right. Can we get to the purported sex with minors? Let's get to that. There we go. There we go. Let's get to the infamous 17-year-old encounter he had. Numerous witnesses told the committee that on July 15th, 2017, Representative Gaetz attended a party at Mr. Dorworth's home. This party was also attended by Mr. Greenberg, Representative Gaetz' then girlfriend, and several others, including Victor May, who was 17 years old at the time. The record overwhelmingly suggests that Gaetz had sex with multiple women at the party, including the then 17-year-old, for which they were paid. That's the key thing here. Let's look down at number 94. They got number 94 here. Let's go check out 94. Interview of victim A. Interview of women 4. Mr. Greenberg informed the committee that the day after this party, Gaetz bragged that he had sex with 6 girls in one day and named all of them, including victim A. Okay, let's go forward. Dorward testified that Representative Gaetz was a frequent guest at his home. To enter the community where Dorward lives, non-residents are required to present a driver's license, so he lives in a gated community, before entering, and entry records are maintained. Mr. Dorward believed that Gaetz invited people to his home on the evening of July 15, 2017. Likewise, Representative Gaetz' then-girlfriend provided an affidavit in the civil litigation stating that she and Gaetz attended the July 15, 2017 party at the Dorward residence. This is where we're going to pause, and we're going to talk about what Dorward said and what he did not say, at least according to Dorward, the attorneys for Dorward. Make this a little bigger for y'all. Yeah. Okay. This is from Moore Hill and Westmoreland. Demanding a retraction today of what they wrote about Mr. Dorward. Our firm represents Christopher Dorward in a case pending in the Middle District of Florida. Dorward is referenced in a report of the Committee on Ethics inexplicably made public to members of the media who are publishing to the general public on December 23rd. Several of your report's findings about my clients are inaccurate. We demand a retraction as soon as possible. At the outset, I'll note that the release of your committee's report is bizarre. Congressman Gaetz is no longer subject to jurisdiction. The precedential effect of your release of this report cannot be overstated. Aside the absurdity of your committee's decision to publish this crap, there is no method of simply undoing the harm that you've caused to many innocent American citizens that have never been charged with a crime. The public has a right to understand why this report specifically should be released when so many have previously been withheld. Below are 3 demonstrably false statements within your report. I'm writing to you today to demand the retraction of these demonstrably false statements. For your convenience, I've labeled them discrepancies. What are these discrepancies? Well, number 1, statement 1. We just read that discrepancy. Statement: Mr. Dorward believed that Gaetz invited people to his home on the evening of July 15, 2017. No, Mr. Dorward did not and has never believed that Gaetz invited people to his house on July 15, 2017. To support your claim that Gaetz invited people to my client's home, you cite in footnote 97 a gate log that doesn't include Gaetz' name on it. Meaning the gated community, when people drive into this community, there's a little toll booth thing. You have to stop and there's a little bar and you have to show them your ID and tell them who invited you. So the gate log, where they, supposedly Gaetz invited these people, they didn't say we're coming here for Gaetz. And reference an affidavit and deposition transcripts that say nothing about Gaetz inviting anyone to my client's home. Contradictory claims that Congressman Gaetz was present at Mr. Dorward's house on a specific date do not support your statement that my client believed that Congressman Gaetz was there or that Congressman Gaetz invited anyone at all. Mr. Dorward's deposition transcript does not support this statement in your report and should be retracted immediately. See? Lies in the report itself. Aside from their reliance on non-credible witnesses such as Joel Greenberg, the information they actually got, they completely lied about. Discrepancy 2. Mr. Dorward was deposed and confronted with cell phone records showing that he was in fact at his residence during the party. As an attendee at Mr. Dorward's deposition, I can assure you that he was never confronted with any cell phone records. These cell phone records were deemed attorney's eyes only at the time Mr. Dorward's deposition. Ms. Dorwith had not reviewed the records, nor had any expert capable of reaching the conclusions your committee drew. An attorney during the deposition made accusations and unsubstantiated statements of fact addressed to my client. I am mortified that the Committee of Ethics would include such a ridiculous conclusion supported solely by an equally ridiculous premise in its report. At this time, I feel the need to remind you of the age-old adage about what happens when we make assumptions. The committee will never be taken seriously if they can't abide by the most basic principles of the rules of evidence. Discrepancy 3 that we've not yet gotten to is the committee requested through counsel that Mr. Dorwith clarify his testimony regarding his whereabouts on the evening of July 15, 2017. His counsel did not respond. On September 6, 2024, I sent an email to committee staff. The email included exculpatory documents supporting both my client and Congressman Gaetz' public statements and these accusations. I engaged in phone and email communications with committee staff, and I am stunned the report indicates I did not. This statement in the report should be retracted as false immediately. I'm disappointed, but not surprised by the haphazard and careless manner in which this report was drafted and published. While the damage this sloppy and careless report will do has not yet been quantified, I'm asking that you mitigate the harm your reckless decision to publish a report will cause by retracting and reviewing it for factual accuracy. Sincerely, Alex Andrade. Pretty scathing. And back to this BS report. The committee received testimony that victim A, Representative Gaetz, had sex twice. This is the 17-year-old again, purportedly, they purportedly had sex twice during the party, including at least once in the presence of other party attendees. Victim A recalled receiving $400 in cash from Representative Gaetz that evening, which she understood to be payment for sex. At the time, she just completed her junior year of high school, meaning she was about to be a senior. Victim A said that she did not inform Gaetz that she was under 18. This is a very important sentence. Victim A said that she did not inform Representative Gaetz that she was under 18 at the time, nor did he ask her age. The committee did not receive any evidence indicating that Representative Gaetz was aware that victim A was a minor when he had sex with her. Even this stupid BS report cannot deny the fact that Gaetz never knowingly had sex with someone he believed to be a minor. And I think that's an important consideration here. Victim A acknowledged that she was under the influence of ecstasy during her encounters with Gaetz at the July 15 party and recalled seeing Gaetz use cocaine at the party. Victim A told the committee she was certain of her encounters with Gaetz on that night. As discussed further below, Gaetz generally denied engaging in activity with a minor, but refused to answer specific questions related to his interactions with victim A. I will tell you, I remember hearing or seeing some person make a claim, I don't remember when this was, that he was actually in the middle of an encounter with her when someone announced that she was 17. This I remember seeing somewhere. I don't remember where I saw this or who made this claim. And that he immediately jumped off of her and refused to basically re-engage with her, even when she turned 18. And he's like, I'm having nothing to do with you. So that's what I recall a claim being made. I do not remember, perhaps some of you may remember, where if you saw a similar claim, but I remember seeing something to that effect. I'm trying to give you full disclosure of everything I know about this story. So I remember hearing something like that or seeing someone say something like that in an interview, but I don't remember I don't remember. You saw that also, Nana News? Do with that what you want. On August 2nd, 2024, Gaetz sent the committee a copy of social media posts from Mr. Dorth regarding his lawsuit against victim A, in which he accused her of being part of a conspiracy to defame him. In that post, Dorwith discussed his recent settlement with victim A, in which no funds were exchanged. He asserted that he had succeeded in proving that victim A lied about him, and that she didn't just lie about me, she lied about Gaetz as well in a federal crime investigation resulted in no charges against the congressman because our false accuser has no credibility and no evidence for the crime that didn't occur. And that was the thing, is he sued her for extortion. The same day, Dorwith revised his post after victim A's attorneys contacted his attorneys to remove his claim that he succeeded in proving that victim A had lied, but maintaining his assertion that she falsely accused Representative Gaetz. Dorwith testified to the committee that he himself was not present for the July 15, 2017 party at his home, despite victim A's assertions to the contrary. After the committee's interview and after he settled his lawsuit against victim A, Dorwith was deposed and confronted with cell phone records. This is the part that they say is a lie. This is what his lawyer says is a lie. That this report says that he's confronted with cell phone records showing he was in fact at the residence during the party. This is not true, according to Dorwith's attorney, who says, I was at that deposition. That didn't happen. You're completely making this crap up. That's what this report, this line of the report, according to his attorneys, flat out lie. Ms. Dorwith said, I don't have an answer to these questions. I'm not going to opine on cell phone data when I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I do not believe I was there. There could be a million reasons for that. As the questions about a cell phone pinging from a tower less than a mile from his home continued, Dorwith became irritated and informed attorney, I'm telling you that I was not at that party. So if you believe those phone records somehow impute that I was, or they make it just undeniable, then that is certainly your belief. The committee requested through counsel that Mr. Dorwith clarify his testimony regarding his whereabouts on the evening July 15th. His counsel did not respond. And what he said is, we did respond. So all this stuff, this entire paragraph here seems like, which is really at the heart of these claims as far as solidifying beyond convicted liar Joel Greenberg. This is what they have on him. This and the woman who sued him. So they have three things here tying him to the 17-year-old. You got Joel Greenberg, you got the woman who was suing, who he's suing, saying you tried extorting me, and then you have this purported admission from Duckworth that Duckworth's lawyer is saying you're full of hot crap. This thing you wrote here never happened. This is real desperation on their part. Can you find someone who's credible who can just validate any of this? Oh, wait, we have Joel Greenberg, the guy who was charged with falsifying claims about someone engaging in pedophilia. That's what we have here. Three people. One says, it's crap, I never said such a thing. Or his lawyers say, it's crap, I never said such a thing. Another being the purported victim who's sued for defamation and extortion. And then you have convicted felon lying about people being pedophiles, Joel Greenberg. This seems like you're trying very, very hard to concoct something here. So, yeah. So the fact that they dropped this when they don't normally drop such reports, and they dropped this 2 days before Christmas on their political enemy, I'm sorry. This entire report is crap. I don't believe anything in this report. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, no, you didn't. Look at this. Look at this. Great Liquor back at it again. Great Liquor back at it again. Gifting 5 more subscriptions to the Gettizens. 5 more subscriptions. Who do we get now? Annie Get Your Gun, Gundam Zig, Mary Is Me, Vrooman, and J.S. Schwalbach. 5 ghetto regulars gifted courtesy of Great Liquor. God bless you, Great Liquor. I'm going to give you one of those. I'm going to give you one of those. Did we reach our goal tonight? Did we hit our goal? 7 out of 15. 7 out of 15. That's what we hit in our goal. Little shy. A little shy. That being said, I'm feeling the Christmas spirit. I'm feeling the Christmas spirit. I'm feeling it. We need a full audit of all members of the House to ensure everyone's following the gift ceiling. With whom should we start? Oh, there are lots of people with whom we should start. And I forgot to get to the piece de resistance of this whole thing here. The piece de resistance. You know the best part of this whole thing? Doge. The ethics committee decided to leak a bias report against Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz, who's joining Doge. Now we will audit the Me Too slush fund that is used to pay hush money for the sexual misconduct of Congress members. Not just an audit, but the names of each congressperson who has used this fund. That's what the public wants to know. That's what the public wants to know. You're using public funds to pay off accusers of sitting members of Congress. Me Too accusers of sitting members of Congress. All hush money payments public never hears about, but we're paying for. We're paying for. I would love to see Doge expose this. I would love to see it. Oh my God. That'd be great. Matt Skinner. Why are you talking about, Joe? This is a non-issue at every level. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? If Die Hard is a Christmas movie, so is Rambo. Okay. Is Rambo a Christmas movie? Is Rambo a Christmas movie? Is it? But is it? But is it? But is it? But is it? That's definitely a Christmas tree. Maybe a little snowman there. A little snowman. A little frosty up there. So is Rambo also? I just want to know. Is Rambo also? I'll give you Christmas adjacent. I'll give you Christmas adjacent. The best argument for Rambo, Die Hard being a Christmas movie is this right here. That's the best argument that it's a Christmas movie. But obviously, look, I don't want to end this thing. I don't want to end this debate that people just seem to love enjoying the debate itself more so than the actual looking for a solution. This is something like it's the question itself, which is the fun part of it. But it all depends on whether or not you qualify a Christmas movie as one that's designed to convey a Christmas spirit or one that simply comes out Christmas time and has, Christmas background. So if you have some horror movie called Silent Night, I assume there's one out there about, some rogue Santa, or Bad Santa is a Christmas movie, and Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It's really that simple. Depends on how broad you want to be in your interpretation. So what are you asking me for? I'm not like the last person who should be answering this question. Will I do a Christmas? I do plan on doing a show on Christmas. Yes, on Wednesday I plan on doing a show. I plan on doing a show tomorrow night. I plan on doing a show on Christmas. So yeah. I don't know if people are going to be here, but one more quick story I want to cover for you here. Luigi was in court today. What's most baffling to me about this entire thing is, isn't he in court in New York? And why is there a camera inside court moments ago in New York? How is there a camera in the courtroom? I don't understand this, because there's no such thing in New York. It's against the rules of the court to have I'd love for there to be video cameras in court. But this apparently came out from oral argument inside the courtroom.
The second thing I want to make a record of, Your Honor, is I'm very concerned.
And this woman supposedly is a crazy leftist attorney who appears on the Midas Touch, which is just a channel dedicated towards purveying terrible legal takes. But let's hear her defense here of Luigi.
About my client's right to a fair trial in this case. He's being prejudiced by some statements that are being made by government officials. By
the way, never dress like your lawyer in court. I don't know what the hell's happening here.
Every other defendant, he is entitled to a presumption of innocence. But unfortunately, the way this has been handled so far, his rights are being violated. And as you know, Your Honor, there's a wealth of case law guaranteeing his right to a fair trial, but none of the safeguards have been put in place yet here. In fact, it's just the opposite of what's been happening. He's a young man, and he is being treated like a human ping pong ball between two warring jurisdictions here. These federal and state prosecutors are coordinating with one another, but at the expense of him. They have conflicting theories in their indictments, and they're literally treating him like he is like some sort of political.
It's getting closer towards having that Luigi mustache. Getting closer. Look how the Luigi mustache getting closer and closer.
Fodder, like some sort of spectacle.
Closer.
He was on display
Closer.
for everyone to see in the biggest
Closer.
stage perk walk I've ever seen in my career. It was absolutely unnecessary. He's been cooperative with law enforcement. He had been in custody for over a week. He waived extradition. He was cooperative at all accounts. There was no reason for the NYPD and everybody.
Oh, yes! Oh, we got it. So good. So good. Oh my God. That is so good. There we go. There we go. And it's Luigi.
Rifles that frankly I had no idea it was in their arsenal.
Hold it right there.
And to have all of these the press there, the media
so
there.
Good. So good. Luigi's Very impressed with this attorney.
It was like perfectly choreographed. And what was the New York City mayor doing at this press conference, Your Honor? That just made it utterly political. And as Your Honor knows, under Lauro v. Charles, the Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit has held it to be clearly established that these staged perp walks to the media, unrelated to a legitimate law enforcement objective, is unconstitutional. And I submit there was zero law enforcement objective to do that sort of perp walk. There's absolutely no need for that whatsoever. And frankly,
so she's very bothered by the publicity of this whole thing here and saying how he's being treated like politically rather than as a criminal defendant.
frankly, Your Honor, the mayor should know more than anyone of the presumption of innocence that he too is afforded when he dealing with his own issues. And frankly, I submit that he was just trying to detract from those issues by making a spectacle of Mr. Mangione. And there are consequences to this. He has a right to a fair trial. And I just want to put on the record statements that the mayor made publicly about my client. Nothing saying alleged, for example. And he said, I wanted to send a strong message with the police commissioner that we're leading from the front. I'm not going to just allow him to come into our city. I wanted to look him in the eye and state, you carried out this terrorist act in my city, the city of New York that I love. And he wanted to show symbolism. Your Honor, he's not a symbol. He's somebody who is afforded the right to a fair trial. He's innocent until proven guilty. And the mayor was talking to jurors, future potential jurors that elected him. Those are the people that elected him that he is talking to and calling this man a terrorist. So, Your Honor, I just want to make a record of this and put everyone on notice that this has to stop. And my client is entitled to a fair trial and the presumption of innocence. And we're going to fight these charges, whether it's in the state or federal, to the fullest extent. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Well,
And to be fair, well, look, if he did what they say he did, I think that he's a vile human being. If he really did it. I don't see anything wrong with what she said there. Everything she's saying is something a criminal defense attorney should be saying. Some folks are really mad at her. I don't think anything she said there was wrong. She's trying to engage in vigorous defense on behalf of her client, and that's what he should be getting. So I don't have a problem with that at all. I have no problem with anything. All the claims she's making there are legitimate. They shouldn't be poisoning the jury here. It's not fair to him. It is his life that's hanging in the balance. And I happen to agree with most of the points that she was making there. I'm not going to kid you, even though from what I understand, she's kind of slimy in her social media presence. That doesn't mean that what she said there was anything wrong with it. I'm very baffled how we got a camera inside the courtroom. And I hope that we continue to see that more with this trial. So there you go. Okay. Said I got some funny stuff for you. And I do. Which one though? This one I'll save for tomorrow. Save that one for tomorrow. Okay, first off, I thought this was funny. This is short but funny. I hope I don't get dinged for this song. I really hope I don't. I'd be really annoyed if I get dinged for 17 seconds.
Yo ho, a pirate's life for me. We pillage, we plunder, we rifle and loot, drink up me hearty yo ho. We kidnap and ravage and don't give a hoot, drink up me hearty yo ho. Yo ho, a pirate's life for me.
Crenshaw. That was the first one I had for you. I thought that was funny. Eye Patch McCain. We started with Eye Patch McCain. Now we go to this clown. Lawrence O'Donnell. God, what a buffoon. This buffoon.
Richest person in the world's utter subservience to Donald Trump.
November 14th. He's citing Elon as your subservience to Donald Trump. Your utter subservience to Donald Trump.
In public, Donald Trump is Elon's daddy. Donald Trump gave Elon Musk the power to do absolutely nothing. Elon Musk has no power in the government at all.
Oh, that's interesting. No power at all, huh? Okay.
Elon Musk has no power over spending and has no power over cutting spending. Well, here's a couple of things.
That was him on November 14th. A month later,
that Donald Trump and his apparent boss, Elon Musk, do not understand. After Elon Musk led the way, only then did Donald Trump catch up with his apparent boss, Elon Musk. If the government goes into shutdown again, as it could this weekend, it will once again be Donald Trump's shutdown, this time with a major assist from his apparent boss, Elon Musk. So perhaps it could best be described as the Musk-Trump shutdown, especially when Elon Musk.
Also, as soon as he flexes on X and gets the bill shut down, all of a sudden now he's Trump's boss? Okay.
Demonstrated his total ignorance of how government works today. An agreement.
Apparently, yeah, his total ignorance of how he can dominate Congress. How he can dominate Congress without ever being elected. You're such a loser.
Is an agreement until Elon Musk and Donald Trump decide to get involved.
Such a loser. Such an utter, complete loser, Lawrence O'Donnell. Utter loser. God bless you. Thank you so much. And I go wishing you and Mrs. Lawgic America. I hope you and your family have a Merry Christmas. Thank you very, very much. I missed this. Sorry I'm late. Just getting home from the bar. No need to apologize. I hope you had a good time at the bar. Oh, and Master Phillips said, funny they know what a woman is this time. Yeah. Yeah. Suddenly, with respect to the report, they know exactly what a woman is. And speaking of a woman, I thought this was funny. So I'm sure I'll share this last one with you. We'll close out with this one here. Quick check around, make sure I didn't miss anything. Make sure that I'm good. I think I got everything. I think I got you all. Yep. This is what we're going to close out. This is the video we're going to close out with. If I talked to my husband like a politician, this is such a great ripoff of Kamala.
Why do the clean dishes still have food on them?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. Clean dishes have always been important to me ever since I became a wife and a mother. I remember when I was in college, I understood that peace in the home depended on order of the kitchen. But let me be clear. The dishes have been a problem in this house since before I became a mother. Matter of fact, it was my husband, you, who, when we started dating in 2015, initiated the we don't need to rinse the dishes before they go in the dishwasher policy.
Come on.
Let me finish.
Ridiculous.
Let me finish.
I can't believe it. Ridiculous.
Let me finish.
She never cleaned the peanut butter
It
knife.
is my husband who routinely oversteps the dishwasher and the garage. Let's talk about the garage for a second.
Why do the clean dishes still have food on them?
I thought that was really good. I personally, I don't know, I liked it. There was something that just rang very true about that entire dialogue. Anyway, it sounded like KJP there, basically answering a question from Peter Ducey. All right. That is our show. I will be back here, God willing, tomorrow evening. Hopefully, expect to be doing some sort of locals thing tomorrow. Goodlogic.locals.com. That's goodlogic.locals.com. Please leave a like, a share, subscribe, all that good stuff. All the good stuff that you would do for someone that you like and appreciate. Or, pretend to like. At least we can fake it. We can fake it. And I hope you guys had a good time tonight. I sure as heck did. Stay away from lab meat. That's for they, them. It's not for you. Do not, under any just don't. I don't care how much barbecue sauce they throw on it. Don't eat the bugs. Don't do it. Do not eat the bugs. Have a good night, my friends. And as always, Godspeed.